thank you all for coming. My name is Kana, and had the pleasure to travel with Reverend Bill in Europe, and when Reverend Bill comes to LA, and it's been quite an amazing journey. So I just wanted to thank you all for coming. We don't know what we're going to have today, but I trust that Reverend Bill will guide us to what everybody needs. So maybe make the intention of what you would like. And I'm sure the field, the divinity will pick that up. And here's Reverend Bill.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we don't know what Reverend Bill's going to do. And then Reverend Bill's sitting here thinking, Reverend Bill doesn't know what he's going to do. We have no idea where this is going to go. But sitting here now and having talked to this group for about 45 minutes or so before we started here, I have kind of a sense of the energy we need to go in. And so some people are tuning in because of the original title of this summer series is about healing. I thought maybe we should kind of go that direction a little bit. And a lot of you cannot or have not been to any of my live workshops where we actually do hands-on healing and where I spend an hour or two or three or four or a full day with you, getting you energetically receptive to this healing modality. But we're going to have a shorter period of time. But if your heart is open, your mind is receptive, you will feel the energy. You will still have the same results, even better if that's so what you desire. This is not about me. People come to me and they say, oh, Reverend Bill, can Reverend Bill heal me? Or can Reverend Bill? No, Reverend Bill doesn't do anything. It's always you. You heal you. You teach you. You're your own guru, your own healer, your own savior, your own forgiver. Everything resides within you. And when you give your powers off to other people, you're losing a big chunk of your own power. So really be careful. And I say that today. Today's is official day in India, I guess, and around the world where you honor your guru, you honor your teacher. I think the first session we talked about last week, I talked about my new book that I'm writing, and in the dedication page, I dedicate to all my teachers. And then I list pain, suffering, disease, hurt, love, miracles. All these things have been teachers. And so when we honor the teacher, the guru, don't narrow it down to just an individual character, person, a human body, but realize it's the God that resides in everything and in every situation in your life. There's that divine energy. And if you look at that as your teacher, because your teacher could be a child, teacher could be a homeless person, teacher could be cancer. And hopefully later on, Kana may be talking at the end, she may be talking about things like loss, losing a child, losing a husband, getting a divorce, losing a job, things like that. I think loss is a big part of our learning, because death should never surprise anybody and divorce should never surprise anybody. These things are, believe it or not, part of the evolutionary process. Yes, even divorce is part of an evolutionary process where you've either outgrown each other, or one person is growing and the other person's not, or one person is going backwards. But when you don't vibrate with somebody anymore, it's things change, things are different. So I'm asking you today just to listen to not my words so much, although they're interesting because I'm an interesting character. Well, at least a character. But if you're listening to the words, feel the energy. Because a lot of times I just kind of roll on and I mumble. But there's this energy that's going out. And realize that the greatest healing energy in the world is love. So when I'm speaking to this group here today, that's why I like doing a live group and not just talking to dead air. If I just did a Zoom and it's just me and I'm recording, I'm missing that link between the energy coming back at me as well. So you're feeding me as I'm giving to you out of love. So it's a two-way street. And as you live your life, you always have to realize it's a two-way street. More importantly, what you give, you get. And we talked about this before. Just want to reiterate. What you give, you get, and you get greater than you give. So make sure you're giving love, healing energy to others. Hate anger. Do you want somebody to have bad things happen to them? All those things come back at you. So don't wish your enemies terrible things. Wish them blessings. So I say that to everybody because we have a tendency, we carry grudges. We get mad at somebody, we are hurt by somebody, and somebody's betrayed our trust or whatever it may be. Let it go. Let it go. That's the beginning of healing. All healing starts with the self. You have to love you. You have to forgive you. You got to be grateful for every gift you were given. And if you've been around me long enough and you've heard enough of my talks, when I talk about gifts, other people call, well, it's a lesson you got to learn. And I go, that's punishment, that's karma. No. Everything is a gift. Even the death sentence, I only got 6 months to live, or I've lost my job, whatever it is that you were given, realize that the universe, the divine, is giving you what you needed. Not what you would have wanted on the menu of life. Well, give me a divorce, give me this, no, it wouldn't have been on your checklist. But on the need to change and evolve spiritually, these certain aspects have to come into your life. Realize that before you're born, there's already a life contract that's already been written. You pretty much have a general direction, an outline of your life. These things are going to happen. These these gifts will come to you at various times in your life. You will have to face this disease. You'll have to face this. Your parents will die. This will happen, whatever it is. It's all agreed to help you with your karmic debt, the path you're taking. And most of us, we've chosen this path. Some of us, it's like, well, we're going to give you this because this is what you need. And then there's some people out there that are very spiritual and they want to speed up this evolutionary process. And so they come into life and say, give me as much of my karma as you can. And they come in and they got all kinds of diseases and they got mental disorders. They got all these things. You say, oh my God, this guy must have been a terrible person. No, that's a person who just wants to take on the bulk of their karma and get it over with. And the next time they're ready to roll. So it's hard to judge karma. And then there's individuals that come back into life for whatever reason. And it's to burn karma from people they love or former enemies' karma. And they will take on things that are like St. Francis of Assisi. He went through a lot of things at the end, and he was blind and and his eyes were out and all that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of stuff that happened to people that is not karmic related. But for 98 or 99% of the people, yeah, assume it is. But you are what you are in the present now. Realize that in a future now, it's all happening now, right? There is no past, there's no future, there's only the now. And the now is happening in multiple dimensions. And in one multiple dimension, you call it the future. You're all Buddhas. You're all enlightened beings. You're all angelic beings. You're all masters. And at another now moment, someplace on that no time scale, you've already woken up. You're no longer this dream like the rest of us. You're no longer the dream. You're the dreamer, God. And you realize that none of this was ever real. But all of us will get there together because it's only one. There's only one dreamer, God. And yet he's given each of us an ego. And that ego believes in your story, your history, your personality. And if you accept that ego, therefore you accept birth as a fact, and life and pain and suffering and joy and love and death. And then if you believe in death and birth, you also believe in an afterlife, whatever that may be to you. Heaven, hell, purgatory, wandering around in the cosmos. And then there's rebirth because you believe in that. And I say you believe in that because you have a self-identification. How do you know I got a self-identification and you do? Because you got a body. If ego, you got a body. If it's not a flesh and blood body, it's an astral body, it's a angelic body, it's a body of light, it's a rainbow body, it's a God body of some kind. You have a body because a part of you still, no matter how finite or how close it is, there's still a separation between you and the dreamer, the source. The bigger this gap, the bigger the separation is, the sicker your life will be, meaning spiritually, mentally, and physically. So when people have a disease or an injury or an accident or something's happened to them, they're physically in pain, they're mentally in pain, or they're spiritually in pain. It's all based on your separation from the source. So when you start believing in your pain and you start believing and focusing on your suffering, you're even separating yourself further. Because a dreamer has no pain. But you, the ego, does. So kind of keep that in mind. I'm saying that because we're talking about healing, and you got to say, Reverend Bill, what does any of this have to do with healing? And I'm telling you, it has everything to do with healing. Because when you come to me and you go, Reverend Bill, can you heal this? And or somebody says, they go online and they go, oh, Reverend Bill healed this and he took care of this and I canceled my surgery. And I go, no. Reverend Bill didn't do nothing. You are always in charge of your own healing. You believe it. You accept it. You accept the energy that I've exchanged with you. I've recharged your energy. When I do these live workshops, I try to let people know that in the title, let alone the title says self-healing workshop, right? That should say it all, but people still think I'm doing something. I do give energy. I do hands-on. I'm charging and recharging your spiritual batteries. I want the energy to come from you. You heal you. If this was a restaurant and you were hungry for God, right? You go in this restaurant and the cook, the source, God, right, prepares this beautiful meal, right? And you get it at your table and you go, oh, thank you to the waiter. And you hug the waiter. Oh, this is really great. Thank you. And I go, no, I'm just the waiter. In fact, I'm just the busboy, right? I didn't do anything. I didn't cook the meal and you enjoyed the meal, right? I'm just this conduit, this pipe that's connecting the source of it all with you. And you can even eliminate me if you want. It's just you and the source are one. And when you start loving yourself, people say, how do I love myself, Reverend Bill? How do I love me? The same way you love God. And then that people have all kinds of ways they do that, of course. And they identify God as this old man with a beard, not me. This old man with a beard, or Jesus or Buddha or Krishna or Muhammad or whatever they want to identify God as. God is everything and God is nothing. And if God created everything in his image, then everything is God. But in the ultimate source, you as this dreaming ego, you realize that there is nothing outside of the source. Not even you. That's a separation. So most people, they pray to God. Like, God's not here. I'm praying to God. Yet the kingdom of God is within. It's you. You are the temple. You are the source. It's not the same thing as some politicians and movie stars and famous people. I am God. I'm practically God. No, this is not an egotistical thing. This is an awareness that there's only one. One what? There's just one. There's just one. That's it. There's no more definition. There's just one. One place, one time, one moment, one creator, one source. So that's why people, when I write things or I do videos, I give lectures, and then I notice other people picking up my words and they're copying me and stuff. I never file a complaint. In fact, I'll contact people and say, continue. My blessing. Go ahead. There's not an original idea I have that wasn't gathered from the source. And it's all the same source. So if somebody else wants to do, they want to become Reverend Bill and do what I'm doing, great. I don't care. When I'm gone, take my books, put your own name. I don't care. This is not about copyrights. This is not about trademarks. This is not about business things and branding and all that. No, Reverend Bill is just about giving love. And if you want to spread that love, don't even have to give me credit. Just spread the love, which gets us back to where I was going. You are as healthy as the distance between you and the source. The farther that you put God away from you as being you, the more ill you will become. And you got physical illness, which most people can, you readily can assess that. You see what the situation is. And there's mental and emotional illness, and some people have trouble figuring that one out. Some people never recognize the fact that they have problems. And then there's spiritual illness. And if you were really looking for the source, the roots of all illness, that's what you want to cure. Because all illnesses, all injuries to the body and to the mind happen at the spiritual level. When you're out of sequence with, or you're out of frequency and vibration with the source, you're not vibrating at the same level as the divine, then illness happens. It's spiritual illness that follows you from lifetime to lifetime. Physical, I don't care how healthy you are. In fact, I don't know if in America we had this exercise guy, Richard Simmons, who just passed away. And this guy used to be fat, and then he had all these videotapes and TV shows about exercise and eating yogurt and healthy food and all this stuff. And the guy dies, and he's fairly young. He's younger than me by many years, right? And then you look at the Rolling Stones, and those guys have not followed any vegetarian diet, or they haven't taken a drug they haven't liked, and they're all wrinkled up, and they're still kicking. You got to say, wait a minute, what gives here? So the body's going to go no matter how healthy you think you are. Like Richard Simmons, my God, he should have lived forever. No, he didn't. All the broccoli in the world wasn't going to make any difference. All the drugs weren't going to kill the stones. They're still around. It's the spiritual. That's what you take with you. When you leave, the body's gone. It's going to rot. It's going to burn up. It's ashes. Dirt returns to the earth. But it's the spirit that you take with you. So today's healing, we're going to focus on the spiritual, healing you at a spiritual level. And when you're working there, the divine within you will redirect whatever energy you need for the physical, for the mental, or whatever ailments that you have, right? Don't ask God, cure this, take this away. When you pray, and I'll tell you what I do. When I pray, I never, and this will surprise you, I never ask God for anything specific. I don't say, God, take away this cancer. I'm fighting cancer right now. I have colon issues. My colon shut down here a couple of months ago, and so I'm dealing with that. So I don't go, God, fix it. No, it's like those were gifts given to me, just like love and just like everything else are just gifts. I accept them. But I ask God give me the tools I need to work on the problem. Give me courage to work on the problem. Give me the faith I need. Give me the people around me that I need to hear and talk to resolve these things. But don't take away the problem. Let me solve the problem. Let me deal with the problem. And in dealing with that, I will grow stronger. But thank you for the problem. So when I pray for faith and courage and hope and tools and wisdom. That's how you should address your prayers. Don't ask to have anything taken away. But the interesting thing is, even though I do not ask for cures or healings for myself, it happens anyway. So it's like, but I don't ask God, don't take this away. Now, that's for yourself. When it comes to, and Tana is a witness to this because she's been at a couple of events where she's seen happen when the group sends love to somebody outside of the group. We've seen instantaneous healings and instantaneous results where love sent, even though the people didn't know it was coming, didn't know they were praying for us, for them, they didn't ask for it. And yet we find out later that when we sent it, instantly when we sent it, results happened, because love is the greatest healing energy in the world. People don't even have to ask for it. So when you're praying for your child, or you're praying for your spouse, or you're praying for the comfort of others, and you're giving them love, there's a power in that. You're not being selfish asking something for yourself, but asking for it for others, great. Send love. You're not going to change the day they're going to die, but you can make them comfortable. You can work on their pain, their suffering, whatever they need. And I think I gave an example last week where we were in Southern California, down by Santa Anita, and we had a workshop at the church there, and we sent a group prayer and energy to somebody in that congregation that had a stroke, and they've been unconscious in a coma for 3 weeks, and it didn't look like they were going to come out of the coma. And the pastor said, "Hey, Reverend Bill, can we do remote and send some energy?" And I explained to her that there is no remote. There's only here and now, and there's only this place. So if we send something, it's not remote. And so we, as a group, sent healing love to this person, not trying to change if they're going to die or nothing, but to send them love. 3 days later, I got a message from the pastor, the Reverend, and she said that the person not only woke up from the coma, she was feeding herself. And it was looking at the time before that, she may never recover. And I'm sure she has to go through therapy and some other things, but she was feeding herself, which is huge if you had somebody in a coma and everything. So they were functioning quite well. And we had the same kind of results in Germany and other places. So keeping that in mind, I'm saying that because even though in your mind, you're in a separate location from me right now. You're in the Netherlands, you're in Germany, you're in the UK, you're in Greece, you're in Canada, you're in Hawaii, you're in Colorado, you're in Ohio, of all places. God is everywhere, and it's all here. It's all now. And we're connected on the Zoom. So it doesn't matter where you actually physically believe you are. When you close your eyes, we're all in the same cave. Okay? We're all in this same place. So whatever healing we do here, whatever love we send here, when I'm sending love out to all of you, and you are participating by also visualizing love going out to everybody else that's part of this Zoom, and let's go even further. Everybody that's going to join this YouTube video later, we don't even know who they are, but the divine already knows who they are. They're already destined to watch this video. Let the healing energy go out to them as well. That's where we're going to end up, where I'm trying to take you, because we're going to do a group thing when I get ready to conclude this. But I got to get you to the point where you're more into the belief, because healing is not, and I think some of you have seen this and appreciate where I'm going through it. I don't want to step on any toes of anybody out there that does healing and stuff. But there's healers out there that have taken classes and weekend courses, and all of a sudden now they're not only a Reiki practitioner, they're also a master Reiki, and they're waving their hands or doing all the things they were taught to do. But I'm saying, if the energy and the frequency is not at a certain level, you can wave your hands all you want, you can imagine all you want, you can visualize all you want, but it has to be backed by the source. You have to raise your frequency. Your vibrating fork, let's say, has to be strong enough to vibrate for everybody. And unless you've done that, then you're going through the motions. You want to be loving, you want to heal. It's all noble, but it's not the same thing. So let's talk about your frequency and your vibration. If you're depressed, if you're angry, if you hold grudges, if you're eating heavy meats, red meats, pork, bacon, a lot of stuff like that. If you're doing alcohol, I don't know, wine, beer, hard liquor, if you're doing marijuana, if you're doing ayahuasca, you're doing mushrooms, if you're doing medicines, legal medicines, if you're doing illegal drugs, if you're doing pornography, if you're doing terrible, violent movies and you're watching things, all these things bring your energy and your frequency down. Not saying eating meat is a sin. If you want to eat meat, great. There's no sinful thing involved. If you want to have an occasional steak, or you want a piece of bacon, great. But I'm telling you, if you want to do healing and you want to have a higher level of your meditation, then avoid red meats. If you want to have an occasional salmon or a little tuna or something, great, But avoid animal protein if you can. There's some bodies out there, literally their bodies need a little more protein. They may need some animal protein. Don't look at that as a sin, but keep it not as your major part of your diet. So plant diet is good, fruit diet, vegetables, only because of the frequency. Frequency. Think about this. When you eat, let's say you eat a steak from a cow, or from a cattle, right? And go into, I don't know if you've ever seen movies or you've been to a slaughterhouse where they line these animals up and they're going through, and there's one right after they move them down the stall. And as animals hear the other animals getting killed and screaming and making sounds, and it's like they're being led literally to the slaughter. All their enzymes and all these hormones and things are flowing with fear inside of them. And their last thoughts before they're killed is fear, anger. It's all saturating the meat. You're eating that, and you're eating and consuming their fear. So if you are a meat eater or you want to continue eating meat, become a hunter. And if you look at the Native Americans, they go out and they hunt, they kill something. What do? They go over to the dying deer or the dead deer and they pray for it. They thank the animal for giving its life to support their family with food or whatever. And they utilize all parts of the animal. They don't waste it. They just don't kill for the head, the trophy, to have the antlers. Whole different thing. So if you are going to be consuming meat, do so with divine grace and love. And think about the pain of the animal. That's all. And the same thing goes, this is crazy, I know. But for trees, you got to cut down a tree. Love that tree. Give it love before it goes. Before you cut it down, don't cut it down in haste and anger and no thoughts. I grew a giant sequoia in my backyard for 30 years. It was about 150 feet tall. And it started leaning like it was tearing up the side. It was going to fall into my neighbor's yard and house. And I had to cut it down. And that's after years of me literally every other day or so I'd go out and I just hug this redwood tree and give it my love and nurtured it from 1 foot tall to 150 feet. A lot of love there. And it was like losing a member of the family. That tree has a consciousness. Okay? Think about that. It has a consciousness. There's something going on there. So when you're cutting fruits and vegetables, thank the fruit tree. Thank the vegetable you eat. This whole thing is about gratitude. Probably nobody else is going to give you this lecture, trust me. But everything you do, not a sin, no. It's your state of mind. And when there's love, eat if you're killing a deer to eat, but it's done out of love for your family to feed them, and no anger or desire to inflict pain on the animal, and you're grateful. It's a whole different energy for that animal. That's why people that are living out in Alaska or someplace, in the boonies, they're living off stuff that they've hunted. It's a whole different energy level, whole different thing. So, all right, vibrations. That's how you bring your vibrations down, by doing all these other things. How do you bring your vibrations up? Meditation. It's a given. Forgiving has to happen. And you got to forgive yourself. If you do everything else and you're living this beautiful life and you're like Richard Simmons and you're exercising and eating broccoli, but you haven't forgiven people like yourself. How many people out there live with shame and guilt? Get past that. You and God reside in the same temple. There's one, just one of you. God's a long time ago forgiven you. There's no anger, there's no hate, there should be no guilt, there's no shame, because it's all God, just having a dream. Let it go. If you can't let the shame and the guilt go, then healing is going to be a difficult journey for you. So, self-forgiveness, self-love is essential to healing. And today we're talking about healing on the spiritual level, which I told you is the key foundational building block for the physical and the mental. Heal the spiritual. That's going to follow you from lifetime to lifetime. That will follow you to the other worlds that you go to. The body, gets sick. And no matter how healthy you think you are, well, why'd he die? The guy did this. He died natural causes. Nothing else gets you. Natural causes will get you. You can't escape it. Everybody dies except for Elvis. We're still, the jury's on him whether he's dead or not. So it depends on what conspiracy you might believe. But death is the fate of the body. And there's an old thing, Bob Dylan's song that, you're dying from the day you're born. One of his songs was, you're already dying as soon as you're born. That's true. Cells are dying as soon as you're born, right? Everything's leading to one moment sooner to your death. So every moment you're breathing and you're living, there's more sand through the hourglass. So it's a limited thing if you believe in time, right? That's another whole lecture. So meditation, prayer, love for yourself, forgiveness for yourself, and gratitude for everything. These things all build your vibrational level, your frequency. It's so important that you become a tuning fork in tune with the divine. Get closely as tuned as you can. You got these chakras. I don't know if I have to explain it to the group, but you got these places along your spine and every place where the energy points, and your lower chakras where your sexual organs are at, down the lower part of your body. There's a lower vibration than the crown chakra, the spiritual eye or whatever. So as you raise your energy and you raise your frequency, you keep going up your chakras. That's what it's all about, right? You're filling your spine with this energy, this Kundalini energy. That changes your frequency. And every time you reach this state of meditation, you're changing your frequency. Everything is about changing your frequency. And the good news about this is, unlike an athlete who works out, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you lift weights, and then when you stop lifting weights, what happens 6 months later? You're out of shape. Lifting spiritual weights, you never lose that. So when you're young and you're doing all this great meditation and all these spiritual practices, you still got the benefits of it. Even when you're old and your back hurts and you can't sit in a posture anymore and you have to sit in a rocking chair or whatever, you can't get out on the yoga mat anymore. It doesn't matter. The work you did before is never lost. So keep striving. And if you're young listening to this, you got to realize that when you get older, you're not going to be meditating more than you did when you're younger. Do the efforts when you're young. Or if you just learn about that and you're just there, well, start now, but it's harder as you get older. There's a lot more thoughts in the head. There's more things going on. There's more guilt. There's more this. There's more memories. So meditation, prayers, forgiveness, forgiving others that hurt you, others that betrayed you. Betrayal is one of the great anchors that pull you down. People that are supposed to be loyal to you, like your spouse, and they're not. People are supposed to be loyal to, like your friends, and they blab all your secrets. These people are dragging your energy down if you let them. That's your choice. Somebody betrays you, shame on them. Move on. But if you're still holding a grudge 20 years after the fact, and you're still thinking about them, on how they did this thing to you, you've chained yourself to them, and they've taken a part of your peace and your spirit of your soul from you. You're hostage to them. Don't do that. Because I'll guarantee they haven't given you a second thought. The person that hurts you, they don't think about you anymore. They move on. But you keep thinking about them hurting you. So let it go. Forgiving them is not about anything other than releasing your own pain. It's about healing you. You don't forget what they did. You don't approve of what they did. But you let the anger go. And you truly want them to wake up and realize, they made a mistake and you forgive them for it. But it doesn't mean you want anything to do with them. It's like I know guys in jail, in Folsom Prison down the road here, and in San Quentin, they're in jail. They've been. I forgive them when I work. I see them. Yeah, you're forgiven, but you got the karma, and you need to be in jail because you're dangerous, right? But you got the karma to pay. That's like telling somebody that's eaten 50,000 calories too much in a month, and they've gained some weight. I'm going, sorry, you're forgiven for overeating, but you've got to pay the price. You're going to gain 10 pounds, right? So that's what it's like when you forgive. When you forgive, you release all that. It's for you, not for them. Again, we're talking about spiritual healing. I got to keep bringing you back to why I'm telling you these things. All these things set you up on a vibrational level where you're ready to receive. The fact that you're listening to this now, if you're watching this now in the future, when you tune into this, realize that we're saturating this thing with energy. Don't go away. Hang on there. We're still giving it. You can't see it. Although at some events, people tell me they do see it. I don't know. You have to take their words for it. But you can feel it. This is a heartfelt energy. Realize that the heart, people say, well, I speak from the heart. I think from the heart. I feel from the heart. I love from the heart. Well, you know what? That's not idle words. Science has discovered through the last decade or two, through scientific research, that some of the heart tissue, the tissue that makes up the heart, is exactly the same kind of tissue that makes up the brain. So there's like 20%, I don't know what the number is, but it's around 20% of the heart is actually like brain tissue. It's capable of feeling, thinking. So people say, I feel, I think, I love you from my heart, I speak from my heart. There's more truth in that than they'll ever realize. You really do feel and think from your heart. And when you hold anger, where do you hold it? In the heart. Now, I used to do something really crazy for my health. I started counseling Vietnam vets about 1970. Before there was a thing known as PTSD, it was just us crazy veterans, right? But nobody was helping us but us. So, I'd work all day, and then I'd spend an hour or two at night helping somebody. And after hearing thousands of stories, I'd tell my wife, God, that story just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. It tears my heart up. It kills my heart. I must have said that phrase over 30 years, 10,000, 50,000, maybe 1,000,000 times. I don't know when I said it. My mind has no concept of what's real and not real. All's my mind here is, this is killing my heart. This is, that's the facts that my brain is hearing. And therefore, 14, 15, 16, maybe 20 major heart attacks later, quadruple bypass, 8 stents, et cetera, et cetera. I finally went to this Indian doctor, this lady, and I said, I got a crazy theory. I says, is it possible? And I told her, I just told her the story about every time I met these people, and I said that. I said, have I created this blockage around my heart? She goes, yeah. Because the heart and the brain doesn't know any difference between reality or not. That's real. It's trying to protect your heart. So it created blockages, keep these people from trying to kill your heart. Be careful what you think. Be doubly careful what you say. That inner voice, that outer voice has power. It has energy. So when people tell you, they ask you, how do you feel? You may be feeling terrible. Don't acknowledge it. You could say something like, I feel great. My body's having problems, but I feel good. Right? That's one way you can go. Or just, I will feel better tomorrow. That's another way. But when you're saying, oh yeah, and I've talked to people, how you feel, and then they give me 20 minutes of symptoms, and I'm going, holy cow. They focus on it. Most time when people say, how do you feel? And they just want a basic answer. But when I ask people give me, the whole kaleidoscope of things, and it's like, so be careful what you say and think and focus on. Don't give life to that body pain. It's all temporary. That's why it's all temporary. I've had operations where, I got close to 100 or 200, 300 stitches in my face. I come home, I don't take a pain pill. I just focus love and attention on that part of the body that needs loving. Healing comes naturally from the love. Let me kind of give you an idea, because I'm not sure how many people have watched my healing videos, but I started practicing this loving yourself technique because I needed to find a way where I could teach people to handle personal pain at a certain level that they weren't getting relief from with it. And I wanted to teach them a way they could do it without drugs and not using magic like some yogic formula that they could do this and it magically go away. So I have surgeries and things, and I don't know if the nose, if you look at the nose, you can see some scars, but the nose has been cut off, amputated, just a big hole 3 times. Okay, for those that don't know that, this nose is not my nose. That's my shoulder right here. Big piece of the shoulders built that. And his forehead, that's been totally cut off. And top of my head's been with a buzzsaw, because I had cancer down in the bone. And the top of that head was taken off, twice. And I've had big, huge tumors taken out right underneath the eye sockets, and multiple tumors taken out of the cheeks and everywhere else. This face has been cut up, 15 major surgeries in 3 years, and probably 5 major surgeries on the face before that. So like 20 major surgeries on this face. And yet, I'm almost 80 years old. You look at it and say, for an old fart, he's okay, right? And unless I call attention to it, now you look at it and say, oh, he's got a crease by the eye. There's a scar there. Obviously, they cut right down to the eyeball there. But at first, you just go, well, that's interesting. You don't notice it. If I focused on all my scars and all my pains, you would notice it. That's like somebody that's got a pimple on their nose, and that's all they can think about. And they try to cover it up. That's all they think about. You will notice it because that's on their mind and you pick it up. Don't focus on your pain. Don't focus on your scars. Don't focus on your suffering. Focus on love. So when I come back from surgery and the local anesthesias wore off, and I don't know if you've had surgery on the face before, when they cut you open, then they literally burn all the raw edges, and then they sew on, or whatever you're going to do. So I got hundreds of stitches. When the local anesthesia wears off, 45 minutes later, it's like your face is on a barbecue grill and somebody's pushing it down on the hot grill. It's burning up. It's very painful. And I'd come back and I'd sit at this computer in this chair, and I'd put my hands around wherever it was that the surgeries were at, and I'd just say, I love you. Meaning the wound, myself, the stitches, even the cancer I love, because you're supposed to love your enemies. Remember? If cancer's my enemy, I got to love it, right? So I love it all. I love it all. I love you. I love you. And then I forgive myself for whatever I did to bring this problem out. In my case, it's major skin cancer from being a lifeguard, professional lifeguard, professional scuba diving instructor, swim team, surfer, long distance swimmer, marathon swimmer, all these things, beaches, everything, Hawaii, California, you got the picture. You're going to have some damage to your skin, especially if you're Irish, from the sunshine all day long in the sun. So I forgive myself. Forgive me for doing this to my skin. Forgive me. Forgive me. And then I loved the cancer, and I was grateful for getting the cancer. I was so grateful for getting the cancer because the cancer was giving me a method to learn to teach others how to heal their pain, to teach others how to heal themselves. And I found the power of love will heal anything. It was just pure, pure love. And so that's what I started practicing. And within 4 or 5 minutes, I would stop and it'd be no pain, pain gone. And in 2 or 3 weeks, I would look just like I am now. For those people that have seen me when I had my surgery, and then they see me 3 weeks later, they'll attest to this, that my face looks pretty much healed just like it does right now. Boom. Skin grows so quickly. Stitches just boom, when they come out, everything heals. I haven't got the art of prevention down because I always have a series of things that test my spirit and body. But the healing part I got down. But as far as getting new diseases and new injuries and new problems, they all present to me something new and different that I have to learn to handle so I can teach it to others. So I'm always grateful for something. Oh, I got colon problems. Let's figure this. When this one's all, we'll talk about that later. This worked and this happened, right? And I bit into, show you how this thing works. I bit into a pit, a pitless date. It's a fruit, and the pit's supposed to be on with the big seed, and it wasn't. And I bit into it, and it broke 2 teeth and 1 tooth, or 1 tooth on the bottom and 2 teeth on the top, molars. I mean, when I say broke them, I mean multiple pieces, 5, 6, 7 pieces each teeth, like shreds of teeth. And it was stuck down in the gum into the nerves. So when you looked in the mirror, you saw teeth at different heights, down and sideways and all kinds of crazy stuff. And it was so painful. When you breathed, you could feel the air on your nerve endings. And those that have had tooth problems, that the nerves, when they're open like that, it hurts. And it was so painful. And I go, wow. So I tried to get a dentist. This was during COVID. And I didn't have a regular dentist because I get a cavity about every 25 years. So, why have a dentist? Why pay dental insurance? So I couldn't get in to see anybody. 3 days later, it's so painful. I called up some dentist. Said, this has got to be emergency. You got to see me. So I finally saw this guy. He goes in there and he takes x-rays. And I'm sitting there and he goes, yep, you got 3 broken teeth. I go, yeah, well, I knew that, doc, when I walked in. He says, oh, they're bad. They're shards. They're in the gums. They're in the nerves. He says, we got to pull all 3 of them. I said, okay. He said, I probably got to do a root canal. I probably got to do a root canal, 3 root canals. That didn't sound like a lot of fun, but I said, okay, whatever. He says, then I'm going to drill these little metal spikes in there, and then we'll drill, screw a tooth in there. And he's thinking that's about $25,000, $28,000. He's an expensive dentist. He's really added this thing up, right? And I said, okay, doc, let's do it. He said, oh, we can't do it right now. I don't have an opening. I said, when you got next opening? This is like March of whatever year it was. And he goes, how about August 28th or whatever date it was? I go, doc, that's 5 months from now. I got to eat. Oh, well, I'll put you on a wait list as I get a cancellation. I said, okay. So I leave there and I come home and I'm sitting here. I'm thinking, what's wrong with me? I can handle this. I can get rid of the pain. What's the difference? I had been up to that time of the belief, because I listened to other healers. You never hear a healer saying you can heal a broken tooth. Nobody's ever claimed to heal a broken teeth. You broke a tooth, you go to the dentist, you get pulled out. End of story. Nobody goes to a healer to have your tooth fixed. Fact. And so I was believing that. I'm thinking, what a stupid thing to believe. I've taken people out of comas, literally. I've fixed broken knees, literally. Other broken bones, literally. I've done all these other, and I say I, quote unquote, let's put quotes around that. Again, I was just the waiter bringing from the source, but I facilitated the healing. All right. I'm thinking, why not the teeth? So I sat here and I put my hands around my gums, my teeth, and I loved my teeth. And I asked my teeth to forgive me. And I thanked my teeth with all this gratitude for, 70 something years of good service, right? I still got all of my original teeth, it's like, I'm just going, thank you. And then I stopped And I realized that there was no more pain. So I didn't feel anything when I breathed in. I went downstairs and got ice water from the ice with ice cubes, put it in a glass. And, well, this would be a test. Nothing, no pain. So the next week, I get a call. There's a cancellation. He says, well, come on in, bring your checkbook or a credit card. Make sure you got your money. I said, okay. He says, plan on being here most of the day. He says, me and my partner, this other dentist, we're going to work on you. We got just you as a patient. We're going to work on you all day. He's going to pull your teeth. I'm going to do the root canal. He's going to put the things in there. We're going to build these. We're going to do this whole thing, right? So the morning shot, we got nobody else but you. I said, okay, fine. And I'm as relaxed as I am right now. I walk in there. Here's a guy telling me he's looking at the x-rays. He's sitting me down in a chair. He's got the light. He's got all these things around him, this whole tray full of cutting things, pulling things. He says, I'm going to pull your teeth and cut. I go, great, do whatever you got to do. And I'm as calm as I am right now. I'm not even nervous like getting ready to get on stage or something. Nothing. Just, and I'm, because most people go, oh my God, I'm going to get a root canal. They're going to pull a tooth out. That's not a thought. I just go, whatever it is. It's okay. It's okay, whatever happens. Hear that, AJ? It's all okay, right? So I sat down there, and the guy goes in there, and I take my iPhone and I put the camera on it because I want to see what he's doing, right? And he gets nervous about, no. You don't want to see this, right? So he's about 45 minutes go by, maybe 50 at the most, and he's done. There's no blood, nothing came out, nothing was cut, nothing was pulled. And I go, well, what happened? He says, well, I didn't have to pull your teeth. I said, well, thank you. I appreciate that. He says, I'm sorry I didn't do a root canal. I said, well, that's okay too, Doc. I'm sorry you didn't have to do a root canal. All right. He says, I didn't even do a crown, to put a crown in there. Oh, okay, Doc, I'm okay. I said, well, then what'd you do? He says, oh, it's technical. You'll never understand. I said, no, what'd you really do? He says, that's $625. You pay out the desk there. We're done. And he walks away. I go, well, what'd you do? He said, it's technical. What did he do? I don't know. When I walked in there was no pain. Nothing was pulled. No cap on it. It went from absolutely looking at the x-rays saying this is exactly what's going to happen to nothing happened. So this power of love for the teeth worked. The next week, I slip, fall, something happens, and I wrench my back, and my back totally collapsed. I go to the doctor. I lost 1.5 inches of height, but realizing it didn't all happen at once, but it was like from the last time I got measured, it's, spine was compressing, but now it's the last little part. And so it's bone on bone in the back. I don't even know what you call that, but total collapse of the spinal column. To say it was painful is an understatement. And I'm good with pain, but it was like intense. I get home, I can't sleep, I can't stand, I can't walk, I can't breathe, I can't lay down, I can't sit up. There was no position of comfort. So I came back here, and I crawled into this chair, literally crawled this chair. It was in great pain. And then I remembered, I didn't have to do anything. I just remembered that I healed my broken teeth. And I remembered all these healings with the stitches and the nose and everything. I just go, and that was it. And I stopped. I just remembered previous healings, and the pain was totally gone. It was just a remembrance of myself remembering all the previous love and all the previous healings. And I didn't have to do anything special. I just had to remember, oh, my body totally believed. Now, if you took an x-ray, my back is probably crazy, it's crooked, it's collapsed, but there's no pain. And I'm going to tell you, here's the deal. If you got a problem with your body, but there's no pain, who cares? If there's no pain, you function. That's all I wanted was pain to go away. I don't care if it's straight up and down. Doesn't bother me. I tell you those 3 stories, and I could tell you another literally hundreds more. But I'm trying to prep your mind to this place where you're more receptive, realizing that the common ingredient in all that healing was love. And never did I say, Lord, take away the bad back. Lord, heal the tooth or the teeth. Lord, fix the nose. Never. It was the divine will. Whatever's supposed to be will be. I just offer love and let everything else come out as it's supposed to. That's all. Just offer love. Same thing works when you're trying to heal somebody else. Heal yourself first, and then you're able to give from a greater place of love. But heal yourself first. Fill yourself with love. All right. So now let's give you something to leave here with today. I want you to close your eyes. Remember, I see you. I know who's cheating. Close your eyes. Now, you got a couple of choices at this time. You can, if you're an old meditator, because some people close their eyes and immediately look at the spiritual life. You want to do that, that's okay. That's an added, but you don't have to do that. But close your eyes. You want to get the distractions of the world around you out of your mind. So when you close your eyes, in your heart, realize that your heart and my heart, we're all in the same cave together. Call it Babaji's cave if you wish. But we're all in the same space together. There's no separation between you and the space that we're occupying in this Babaji's cave, this place of love. And realize this cave is filled with love. This cave is nothing but love. And that the source that you call God or others call the divine is really just the most powerful force in the universe, love. And everything is made from love. Just surrender to the love. Be love. And now sit there with your eyes closed and mentally chant. Talk to yourself. I love me. I forgive me. Thank you for everything that's happened to me in my life. I appreciate it all. And just do that self-talk for a few minutes here. I love me. I forgive me. I'm grateful for everything that happened in my life. Everything, good, bad, ugly. Grateful for it all. Everything was a gift. I love me. I forgive me. I'm grateful. I love me. I forgive me. I'm grateful. Just keep chanting that mantra. I love you. When you say I love you or I love me, it's the same thing. When you say I love God, visualize that as the same thing as saying I love you. I love me. Realize that one of us is all of us. We are all in this cave. We're only one while we're in this cave. And sometime when we're more enlightened, we'll realize that even when we're out of this cave, we're still only one. Sit in this cave together. Feel the healing power. Now open your eyes. I want you to look at my eyes. I want you to look at me. I'm going to put up my hands. Since I can't individually reach out and touch each one of you, I want you to feel, if you want to reach out and touch your screen, touch my hands, do so. But I want you to feel the power and the love emanating from these hands. And if you're touching the screen, you'll feel the warmth from the screen. You feel maybe a slight vibration, but feel my love. Know my love. Become my love. Dissolve in my love. Realize that we're all one. Put your hands together and fold them in front of you. And just surrender to the God in me and the God in you, knowing that we're one and the same. Now, relax. If your heart was open, and I'll hear later on from some of these people, if your heart was open, healing has already taken place for those that believe instantaneously. For those that, yeah, something will happen in a couple of days, it will happen in a couple of days. For those that believe, well, this is a beginning, in a month I'll probably feel it. In a month you will feel it. To the level of your acceptability and your own belief, you'll receive this gift to the level of your acceptance. Some people that means instantaneous. Some people mean over a few hours, a few days, a month. But no one is going to leave this Zoom call or this YouTube video without having some change someplace in their vibration. Feel that vibration. Know that vibration is a vibration of love. And the love I share with you is the same love that you share with God. It's all one. It's you and I loving that divine. There's no difference. And when I transfer my power and my energy to you, I'm charging your battery. It's you at this point in time. I'm giving you this gift. Use it. Hold on to it. Remember what I told you about charging your body up and changing the frequency with love and intentions and your way of life and your thoughts and your moral ethic standards and your beliefs and what you do and how you act. Don't pull it down. And every day you meditate, close your eyes when you're meditating and realize you're Babaji's cave. You don't have to go to the Himalayas. You don't have to go to India. You just have to go within. It's all there. The greatest temple in the world is within you. Whether you believe in Jesus as your divine savior, or you believe in Buddha, or you believe in whatever you believe, it matters not. God has no religion. God loves you. God does not judge you ever. No one's lost. No one's going to hell. The only future is oneness. Once again, oneness. Everybody's future is the same. You will wake up knowing your oneness. Blessings and peace to all of you. And I hope that if you practice this nightly cave of meditation and focus on this love, it'll spiritually heal you. If you want to work specifically on the body, you can go to this cave in there and touch the part of the body that's bothering you. Just send your love there. If you have a heart problem, a shoulder problem, back, if you got headaches, whatever it is, you can visualize it, you can touch it, you can express, I love you, my colon, I love you, my kidneys, I love you, my broken ribs, whatever it is, you can affirm that. Don't ask for healing, just love it. Just love it. You're not a beggar. Don't beg God for stuff, and God's not a Santa Claus, so don't go with this list of things you want from the divine. It's all yours. You don't have to ask for nothing. When you pray to ask for things, you have no faith. You don't believe in an all-knowing God. God, by so-and-so is sick, you got to do something for him. I have this, I have that. About it. You don't believe that God knows everything you need? Come on, have faith. So I don't ask for anything because I know God knows everything I need already. I'm getting what I need. Praying is asking for what you want. There's a difference. So if I pray, it's for gratitude. Thank you for giving me this gift. Let me learn what this gift really is, but give me the courage to open this gift, right? Like, oh, I got a bad cold. There's problems here. Let me open this gift up, find out what am I supposed to learn from this and how am I going to use that to teach other people how to handle this issue. Simple as that. Thank you.